Yesterday was actually a pretty darn exciting day for the market. Not necessarily for the charts. We did finish on a green note, which is a great sign, but we got a major confirmation that in just about a week and a half's time, we are going to be getting an interest rate decrease. And it's a question of how big is that going to be? But we'll talk briefly about that. But what I really want to talk about is actually something else that took place for SHIB yesterday. We, in fact, got a death cross taking place on the charts. What does this mean? Does it mean price is going down, or are we actually getting a little bit of a death cross fake out right now? We'll discuss all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So for the most part, we've just been trending sideways. It's super boring. I get it. I'm ready for things to just start moving to the upside, and I'm sure you guys are as well. And yesterday was a little breath of fresh air, because what we got was some major news. The jobs report came in very cool. We only got a 22,000 job addition month in August for non-farm jobs. Unemployment rose to 4.3%, which is the highest level since 2021. So basically, they just triggered the Fed into doing interest rate decreases. The market loved it. We saw SHIB go on a rise during the course of the day. And what was actually really nice about this is SHIB closed very close to the top of its candle while most others didn't. We kind of got, the manipulation, the pump and the drop as the day progressed. But SHIB was showing still a lot of signs that it wants to make a move. We're trying to push against this 20-day moving average almost every single day, which is a great sign. And of course, we're on a little bit of a red note to start the day. We started off the weekend, again, lower volume, $140 billion in trading volume over the last 24 hours. Shiba Inu right here still sitting around 200 million in trading volume over the last 24 hours, around 7.2 billion market cap. Not much has frankly changed, okay? But this is an exciting thing. Rate decreases are the exact thing that you need to start triggering, again, a lot of that capital to re-enter the crypto market. We're still sitting at USDT dominance at about 4.5%. We need an extended drop again below this 20-day moving average. That'll be a great sign here. We're kind of doing what we did back here. So just pay attention to this, especially as we get into next week. Next week, we obviously have our CPI and PPI report. That's going to be a volatile time for the markets. But when we have Jerome Powell say, yep, we're cutting rates by this much, that's going to be a very big moment for the markets. Now, what I will say here is when we're looking at the SHIB chart, despite us trending sideways, we in fact did get a death cross taking place here on the charts. You guys can see the 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average. This is not boded well for us historically speaking. You guys can look back and see many times where we've gotten these death crosses taking place. For example, back here in February of 2025, we obviously saw a drop following that. Same thing back here, death cross back here in July of 2024, drop following that. And I think that last time was all the way back here in May of 2023. Now, here's the thing is, does this mean we're going to go on a drop in terms of price? No, not necessarily. And the reason why I'm saying that is right now, what we've actually seen from the market is a lot of those bottom confirmations. We're still seeing holders ascending in terms of SHIB. We had a kind of an unload day over the last 24 hours or so. But what we've seen also during that same time is whale accumulation taking place. People showing major conviction. It's the reason why actually during this golden cross to this death cross here, we actually saw a SHIB ascend by 3%. All right. So that's actually a very promising sign, is that we are slightly ascending. It might be very tough to see if you're just looking at this, and if you squint your eyes, maybe you can see it very I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. If you squint your eyes and look very hard, you might be able to see it. But SHIB right now is actually in a pretty darn good spot. Okay, there's not a whole lot to frankly be bearish about. Sure, you can be bearish because obviously price was higher back here on July or late July of this year, or bearish because price was higher in December. Guys, we've been going through this shuffle across the crypto market, the transition of from the hands of the impatient to the hands of the patient, and I get it. These years for crypto have probably been some of the hardest we've dealt with. And it's because we haven't had any retail interest from outside the space. There's been little spurts here and there, but for the most part, it's just been institutional control, government and enterprise control. They've been just kind of manipulating the markets up and down. We've dealt with black swan events. We've dealt with economic uncertainty. We've dealt with tariff news. We've dealt with, did I say black swan events? I mean, there's just been all this thing that just has ravaged the market. Did the same thing here in 2023, same thing in 2024, and 2025 has not been a news story in that regard. What you need to understand is that eventually those things will open up. The bad times will fade away, and we'll get to some pretty exciting times, right? Remember, what's called the Clarity Act is going through Congress right now, and the likelihood of that being approved or passed and signed into law, it sounds like right now is more likely going to be October than September, but there are a lot of things that are working in our favor right now that you can get excited about, right? So the charts are always going to be the last thing to move in that regard, but I can't really complain. I guess I could, because I want price to be a lot higher, and I'm sure you guys do too, but we're building towards some exciting stuff. So I do think because of what we're seeing in the market in totality, but also because of what we're seeing in SHIB at a fundamental level, I think that this is kind of a death cross fake out. I would not be surprised, if this 50-day kind of comes down here and SHIB price starts to try to push this breakout. Again, we'll understand that we still have the potential to attack down towards this corner, especially if we get some manipulation in the market over the weekend that leads into Monday. Remember, Mondays have just sucked. So we obviously got a couple days until then, but that's all I got for you guys in this one. Appreciate you as always. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think this is a bit of a fake out that we're going through right now? Do you think the market is going to start reacting more positively to what is on this really short-term horizon? So have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.